Hey everyone, it's Lisa with Are You My Cousin? It's Thursday, so it's time for another YouTube live stream. Hey Debbie, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad you found it easier today. So thank you for being there. Guys, as you come in, if you don't mind just giving me a thumbs up or tell me where you're from, that helps me know that people are seeing this well and can hear everything just fine. So, and it's a lot of fun to see where everybody's coming from as well. So if this is your first time joining me, thank you for coming and welcome. I am Lisa. I am from North Carolina, which is where I am sitting today in my home office on a beautiful, if not hot, muggy summer day. I think summer has finally arrived here in our area, which is just fine. It is June after all. So welcome. Glad you're here. If you're just returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you spending time with me each Thursday. This has become such a part of my week now that I look forward to. I get up on Thursday mornings and I'm all excited because I know that I get to chat live with you guys today. And I'm really excited to share today. We're going to be talking about those wildcard searches, and I'm excited because I'm actually going to take you over into Ancestry and show you how to do those types of searches, because it's really an interesting way of doing things, and I think I can convert you to wanting to do those when we're done. Hey SBA, we got you from Kansas, yay! And we have Mary Jane from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. So while we're waiting for people to come in, I've got some really cool things to share with you. So that I think that you definitely will want to know. Hey, Linda, down other side of the county from me, down in Fuquay Varina. Couple things to know. If you're coming, I'd love for it, guys, if you don't mind, if you want to subscribe to the Are You My Cousin YouTube channel, that just lets you get notified when I put up new videos, which I do twice a week in addition to the Facebook Live. So that's that way you don't miss anything, and it tells YouTube that you like seeing my things, which is good for me. So I'm just going to put that out there. The other thing, couple really cool things have happened this week in the genealogy world. Lots of folks are really excited because Family Search has put out an index to the New York land records, which is huge for those of you who are researching New York ancestors, because it can be tricky to research up there. It is not a complete index. I know that Queens County and Nassau County are not included in that, and there are one or two others, I think, too. But it is well worth checking out if you are researching those, the New York area, and checking out the records, land records up there. I think that's going to help a lot of people out, and hopefully get people moving forward in some research that they hadn't previously been able to go forward on. So give that a try if that's of interest to you guys. Hey, Larry's from Florida. Yay. Oh, Kissimmee, that's down near Disney World. Mike is from Texas, and Kathy is from Ohio. Yay. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, another really cool thing you guys want to know about, and I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the chat. So here you go. Oh, wait a minute, didn't come. MyHeritage for the month of June is opening up one of their paid databases or record collections every day in June. So basically for 30 days, each day, they're going to open up one of their paid record collections. So that's I'm super excited about it. I know that I have seen things like there's been some Swedish records come up, and now I can't remember the other ones I saw, but I've been seeing some really unique kind of collections come up. It is a great way, if you guys have not used MyHeritage before, or you're interested in using MyHeritage or just trying them out, it's a great way to do that. Pop over there and see what they are, they have out there. So I did the link I put in there is basically their blog post article that tells about what they're doing for the month of June. So I think you guys, if you're interested, you might want to check that out and see what's happening over there. Mary Jane asked, what dates for the land record in New York? You know what? I'm not 100% sure, but I can tell you, if you give me just 1 minute, I will check that out for you. It was if I remember, it was a very broad range. Hang on, let's see here. Family search. And actually, I'm actually going to go into Facebook because people were posting on it and had a screenshot. I'm going to pull that screenshot and see where that was. Here we go. So for the dates for those New York records, land records, it's 1630 to 1975. So quite a large time period there. So I hope that helps you out, Mary Jane. I know I've got a couple things I'm going to check out on that as well. So you've got the My Family Searches doing that. You've got MyHeritage doing a new paid collection open each day in June, which is a really fantastic thing. And just if you're interested, if you are a Legacy Family Tree webinar member, so if you subscribe to those webinars, just to let you know, I have a new one out over there in their tech zone. So it's on Google Bookmarks, so you can check that out as well over there. So just wanted to put that out there for you guys as well. All right, let's talk about wildcards. Mary Jane said, wow, yes, absolutely. That's an amazing, isn't that amazing collection for records? You can see why New York researchers were so excited about it. Okay, so I'm going to get into wildcard searches here now. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to get into share my screen as well in just a sec here. So let's talk about wildcard searches, what they are, and why you might want to use them. Now, I am going to put a link to a recent article I wrote on that, and this one has actually been updated. So if you've seen it in the past, you might want to click back over and check it out again. This is the article on my website that I have for it on wildcard searching. The reason, what a wildcard search is, so when you go into a database, and this you could do on a genealogy database, you can do it on like Ancestor, you can do it on Find My Past, MyHeritage. You can do it on Google, just a Google search. You use a wildcard search when you're not really sure what you're looking for. And I think of this, and what I use it for is in case of names. So as we know, a lot of times the surnames or even first names that we search for are not always very consistent with the spelling, or they're being transcribed incorrectly or just out of the norm, what we might be searching for. And so we potentially are missing records within databases that we use on a regular basis simply because they are not showing up in our searches, and it's because of how we are searching. So when you take a wildcard search, we are going to actually replace letters with symbols to tell the search engines, hey, I don't know what works here, I'll let you decide. And we're going to get a wider array of results that way. So let me go ahead and take you over. I'm going to share my screen here. Give me 1 sec to get that going here. Let's see, let me add that to screen. Get you guys to be able to see that. Okay, and I am going to hop over and see my screen. And here we go. So this is, I'm on ancestry.com, but this will work on any of the databases that are out there. And what you see is I've already filled in Maria Andrasik, and I know that her birthday was 1895, and she was in the Allegheny County, Pennsylvania area. Now, the Andrasik name gave me a lot of trouble when I was researching because that middle part tended to be a variety of things. And so I would get kind of different results depending on how I searched and depending on who I searched in the Andrasik family. And I know that I'm probably not saying that right with my Southern accent. So when I search on that, you can see I get quite an array. I mean, even the first name is a little different, and I get Andrasik, and you can see, you know, AI or IASCIK, ANDRCJCIK, and these are all actually the same person, believe it or not. So this is why it's so important to make sure I'm getting, here it is with a more common spelling with the A in the middle there. This was, again, very common. That first name went back and forth. And so you can see I was getting some really unusual name. Here's another variation of that same last name, another one. And you can see how quickly that could get very difficult. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So I actually went back into my search and to do a wildcard search. So what I did is I took out, I was pretty sure the ANDR was going to work just fine, but I really wasn't so sure about that middle part. So I'm going to replace it with an asterisk. So what that asterisk says, it tells Ancestry or whichever search engine you're in, it tells them that, okay, definitely want to search the ANDR. That middle part, I'm not really sure. You can replace it with one letter, multiple letters, just whatever the kind of search engine will do. And then I'm pretty sure there was a K on the end, although I can play with that again too. And then I can hit search. And I got some similar results, but I got some different results too. I think I had to go further down. These I think I had already seen, but this is a really unusual spelling of it that potentially I would need to look at. I've got a different one there. I got a short one there, so there's a more anglicized version of it. I have a different one here. So again, not all of these are the same person, but it gives me options of people I need to perhaps pursue to see, could that be her? You know, could this be my Maria right here? Again, this came up with this wildcard search. So you can start to see what you get. It gives you more options to research. Now, it's still up to me, obviously, as a researcher, to do my due diligence and really make sure I'm searching and making sure it's the same person. Now, this is an interesting thing in the fact that the front of it's different. So I got that Google came back with that, even though I used a different wildcard on that. The other thing that you can do with a wildcard search is put a question mark. And when you use a question mark in place of a letter, that replaces one letter. So that would say, I want to find everything else I'm pretty sure about, but I don't know what that middle letter is going to be. It could be an A, it could be an E, it could be an O, kind of thing. I'll be honest, I typically do not use question marks in my wildcard searches very often, because that will only replace one letter. I usually will use the asterisk because it will replace multiple letters, and I'm trying to widen those results out. Okay, guys, I want to pop back over really quick to the group here to make sure to see if anybody has any questions about that. Everything's going okay. Karen says she loves staying up to date. Yay, I'm glad you do. You've used Ancestry for the last 18 years. Oh, I'm so glad these are helping you out. Yes, so Ancestry, again, you can use these tips in Ancestry or in like a Find My Past or something like that. Now, I'm going to go back to my screen because I want to share with you again another option for that. So let me get back to that for you. Okay. So I'm going to show you a different option here. We're going to move away from Maria, and I'm going to show you a new search that I'm going to do. So this is a gentleman. This is actually one of my ancestors. His name is, believe it or not, oh, I even misspelled it, Cagebeth. So Cagebeth, White. Surname is White. If anybody's wondering, researching the surname of White in colonial North Carolina and Virginia is extremely difficult. And he was born, when was Cagebeth born? He was born in 1745. Okay. So I can search for him. And as you can imagine, you would think, now with the surname of White, I get a ton of hits. But that first name of Cagebeth, I'm thinking, oh, good. You know, this is an unusual name. I should hit this out of the park, right? I shouldn't have any trouble. Well, best laid plans. When I research him, I get nothing with him. That C will come up until all the way down here, and you see it's actually a different spelling. Well, and even a different county, but that's another story. And that's the only one I got. So I knew that Cagebeth, that spelling Cagebeth I found a lot of things. I have found him with K's. I have found him with J's. I have found him with a number of things. So I went in and decided to do a wildcard search on him. And I pretty consistently can find a CA for him. that last part's usually pretty close or something, but that middle part gets all kinds of crazy sometimes out there in the records. So I did a wildcard search. I'm replacing that G and that E with the star and saying, okay, Google, help me out because I'm stuck. And what that did is it came back and I ended up with a Hedgebeth white, which obviously Cagebeth and Hedgebeth, when you think about, as I say it out loud, I was like, okay, yes. So I had to, that was definitely something to check out. Again, here's another hit with the J. Here was one I had not seen before. They had it with an S. Again, we're back to the J again. And then I'm finding other things like with a possible Cade, which turns out that was him as well. So you can start to see what I was coming up against. Now, a lot of these public ones are actually my research partner, so that's why I'm getting so many of those hits there. But those first ones, that gave me options that I had not thought about when I first started researching him. So that is kind of how I use that particular wildcard search. It just seems to give me more options. Now, what I will tell you when you do this is that sometimes this can give you a lot of different results. It can get tedious to go through them all, and it's perfectly fine to play around with them. So here's another trick that you can do with this. Let me see how well it'll work with Cage, but this is a little different. So maybe I know the first part of the name and I maybe know that middle name, but I'm not maybe so sure here. I can actually combine and say, okay, I don't know what that is. So let's put an asterisk there and let's see what Google will tell me. They're probably similar, but you can use more than one. Okay, this name's so unique that it's only given me kind of the same things. But my point is you can use more than one symbol in your wildcard search. So you could technically do, we could do Cagebeth with like that to replace those first letters. I could say, all right, maybe I didn't know his last name was White. Maybe I knew it was WHI, and I could do an asterisk there. That would tell Google, okay, the name starts with WHI. Let's see if we can get anything close to that that would fit the other parameters. And interesting, it's giving me the same things there. Again, that White, the surname of White is making it a little difficult on that one. But that's how you can go in. I can give you one more to show you that I think might help. Let's see, his name was Jesse Haley. And Jesse was in Halifax County, Virginia. And yeah, we think he was born around 1803. I might not have that date quite right, but so when I search for that, I can get pretty good. But what if I didn't really know that last name? What if I'm missing some things with that? Because one of the things I found out was in researching is that I kept finding a lot of spellings on his name. So I went in and took out the A and put in an asterisk and ended up to find that I was missing things when I went down. Here he is as a Harley. So it picked that up. Picked up, this is not him, but it picked up a Hartley, and I would actually, if I didn't know, that would be something that I would flag to look at again as well. So it was picking up, Hensleys and Hartleys and Handleys and Huntleys. So you start to see what it's starting to return back. Most of them aren't going to be pertinent to you, but when you find the one that is, that's what you're after. That's when you have hit the genealogy, as I like to call, mother lode. Debbie said, can you do research years with the wildcard? Debbie, I haven't tried that, so let me give it a try. Let's try it and see. Hang on, let me go back up here. So I think what you're asking here, let's go into Jesse real quick. I can use, what I can do with the wildcard search is I can wildcard search using the symbols in the name wherever I want to, if I want to use multiples or not. And then I can absolutely go in here and set any dates that I want. So maybe I only want to look for him, say in 1870, because I'm looking for a death. So I'm looking for any event that happened in 1870 because I know he was still living, but there's some other stuff going on. And so I can try that. Okay, so actually what that did is it got me into some marriage. That's interesting. It put me into marriage records for him, into the census record. This is not him, but it's an interesting that they use that Hudley as a thing. So he's actually not showing, and so he's actually not showing up on that 1870 census, and yet I know he was there. But that would be one way to do the dates. Let me go in. If you're asking, can I do a star and the dates? Let's try that, because I've never tried it before. So let's try maybe that. Nope. When it comes to numbers, it looks like it will only let you do ranges. It will not let you put in an actual star there. So you would have to, put in an actual date, but it won't let you put in the actual star. Debbie, did that answer your question on that? I want to make sure I understood what you're asking. Usually when it comes to wildcards, I'll use the asterisk or the question mark for letters and spellings, and then I will make adjustments in the years if I need to make adjustments in the years, based on just the ranges that I might search for and other parameters that way. So let me know if that helped you out there or not on that. So that's how I use that. You can also do that in a let me show you. You can do that in Find My Past. Let me get over there. So you could do, okay, wait a minute. Let me do something different because let me get one of my English, which might show up better. LB. So this is my ancestor, Matthew Talbot. I don't necessarily, sometimes his name is a little, the end of the name sometimes will get kind of messed up and muddled. And so we know when he was born. We know he was born in we know he was born in England. And let me see what it returns for me. Interesting. So it gave me a TALBBOT, BETT. You can start to see all the different varieties that it returned to me. This actually might be my guy right here. Most of them, that last spelling, the TALBOT, but absolutely it's pulling in the others that I would not have necessarily thought to look for. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have thought to look for an E in that spot. So that's helpful to know, to be able to see what the search engines think you might need to be looking for. So Debbie said yes, that helped. Yes, it is it's a good place to start. Let me come back over to you guys here. There we go. So the wildcard search is a great way when you've kind of exhausted those things, and I tend to keep a record of all the different spellings for a surname or a first name that I find to make sure that I'm matching things up and I'm doing those searches. But by using that wildcard search, it allows me to come up with ideas that I probably would not necessarily have come up on my own, because when the record has been transcribed in I don't want to say incorrectly because spellings were so variable at one point, but when it's transcribed in not the usual way that we're looking for something, when you go to the original record, it's not unusual that you and I would have interpreted it differently than the transcriber. So it can vary quite a bit, and it all, it's human error and how one person views a handwriting as opposed to another. So that wildcard search will really open up possibilities for you. It does take time, and it can get tedious because you end up with so many records. That can get a little tricky sometimes, but it is possible for you to narrow those down, because typically people, when you get to that point, you have kind of exhausted your traditional research and you're trying to get beyond just the basics of what you've been doing. So all right, guys, so that's what I wanted to show you today on the wildcard searches. If you have other questions, feel free to drop something in there. If you are watching this on a replay, any of the links that I have talked about, I will put them in the description below so that you can find those links. So if you are watching this after, if we're no longer live, just look down there for the links and you'll find those there to help you out. As I said, I have an article, I have a post over on the website about the wildcard searches, so you feel free to hop over there and take a look at that. And it's got some screenshots and can walk you through that as well. And then just give it a try. I'd love to know kind of what you guys, when you do it, what you find, if it's helpful, if you're getting just kind of lost in the weeds, or if there are other ways to narrow things down. I'd love to kind of hear what your experiences are with that as you proceed with that kind of thing. So that's all I have for you today. Be sure and check out, if you're a New York researcher, check those family search, that index to the land records that they put out there for New York this week. Check out MyHeritage, because they've got those new, they're opening up each day a different record set for free that you can check out, and make sure take advantage of that. And then join me next week, next Thursday, right here for another Facebook Live. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you then. All right, guys. Yay, Debbie. I can't wait to try. Debbie, definitely let me know how that goes for you with that. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. You are more than welcome, Mary Jane. I hope this helped, and glad that we could point you towards some of those New York records as well. So. And Karen, thank you again. I'm so glad to know that the suggestions are helping you out on your research. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.